All right. This one is about my man from Detroit. Y'all want a Detroit story? I'm gonna give y'all a Detroit story right now. Hold on, I see a little lint on my joint. You know what I mean? This is about my man from Detroit, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give y'all a Detroit story. All right. So just sit back and enjoy the ride. All right.
Mecca what? Mecca audio. Mecca what? Mecca audio. Mecca what? Mecca audio. Ayo.
All right, so let's go. This is about my man from Detroit. Y'all been happy for Detroit story. I'm gonna try and give y'all some of these stories y'all been asking about because I like to mix it up and go at my pace, but y'all don't like me to go at my pace the way I want to go. You know what I mean? So, I'm gonna go on and, give it to you at your pace. Y'all wanna know about the Detroit story, all right? Now, I'm in Coleman, Florida, and there was a good brother there from Detroit. I ain't gonna say no names, I don't like saying no names because you got people that try and look on the YouTube, look for any little flaw, any little thing you say, and yell, he telling, and all that. Hit the like button, man. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe now. That's all I'm asking you, all right? If you're not subscribed, please subscribe now. And hit the like button or the emoji button. Just put an emoji in the comment, and that's it. That's all I'm requesting right now. Now, we got a brother from Detroit. I meet him, official dude, little thick, kind of brown skin, caramel complexion dude, little Tonka toy, you know what I mean? Good shape. Now, I meet this brother, and we on the compound, and, mind tech mind, and you get to see who moving, and you see the way they move, and you look at the way they move, and you know what I mean? You know who you want to holler at, who you might want to get game from, or might have something to, offer, So, the brother pushed up on me, he introduced himself, we talking, and I'm noticing that on the top of his forehead, he got like some scars, look like somebody took a knife and carved something in his forehead. You know what I mean? So I said, damn, family, what happened? You know what I mean? You got in a car accident? He said, nah. I said, what happened? So, this one's gonna be short. I'm just gonna go right to the point, tell you what it is. So now, he said, nah. He said, man, I was out there doing my thing, was getting money, then the feds was on me. So when the feds got on me, I went and I got my fingerprints changed. You know what I mean? He said, I went got my fingerprints changed overseas. You know what I mean? He said it cost me like 30, 40 grand. You know what I mean? They gave him a deal. It was supposed to be like 10 grand a finger to change your fingerprints. So when they run your fingerprints, it don't come up. So this is how official, Detroit is, so you understand. He done went and got his fingerprint changed. All his fingerprints was changed. So, in the joint, we got, when you go to the commissary or when you go to log in the call links, you could use your thumb. You know what I mean? You take any one of your fingers, you put it down because they get your fingerprints when you go in. And when you want to, log into the computer, log into your account, you know what I mean? The same way you do your thumbprint on the phone. We were doing the thumb in a little, box. They had a little black box. They had the little red light. And you put your finger up there, you hold it down, then it turned green, and it lets you in your computer so nobody else could get to your computer, to get to your emails, your texts, your money, or whatever. So he could never use his. We go to the commissary, and he could never use his. So the police, they used to have an attitude when he go up in there because he'd be like, yo, put your finger on the print. And he's like, yo, it don't work. And they're like, man, what do you mean it don't work? Our machine work. He said, no, my fingerprints don't work. He said, man, everybody's fingerprint work. We make sure everybody take the fingerprint. You holding up the line. So he's like, yo, look, man, my joints don't work. And he said, man, just put your finger on the joint. So he put his finger on the joint, it don't work. So they got him there for 30 minutes putting his finger on the joint. They can't believe it don't work. But like I said, he don't got his fingerprints removed. So now they getting in their body with him and he getting in his body with them. So I had to tell him like, yo, calm down, big boy. Don't even let them get you out your square like that. They're not used to gangsters here. We're in Coleman, Florida, where the police, there's some, real lames. You know what I mean? Black dudes that think they cool, you know what I mean? Because, they schooling the little, white female COs that work there. So the COs that schooling the white girls, they think they like that because, of course, you got dudes on the compound that's sweating them. So now he go and they did something where when he go in there, he give him his pen number. They put up his pen number and his picture come up on the screen and they verifies him through that. So they got that straight, right? So then now I said, y'all, well, one day we walked in, because you don't ask your brother everything all at once, you know what I mean? Because he already told me, that he got his fingerprint changed. So now that he more comfortable, he said, man, I almost had it. You know what I mean? I think he had like 30, 40 years. You know what I mean? I said, I almost had it. I said, what happened? He's a big dope boy out there getting money. So I said, what happened? He said, man, I got my fingerprint done. I was supposed to go back overseas to go get my facelift. You know what I mean? He said, I went over there to get my facelift. They started doing the facelift, and I had to go back for a second time because when they do the facelift, they got to go in and reconstruct it like 3-4 times. So he said, like after the first 2 times they did it, they had to sew it back up, let it heal up, and then cut it again to go back in. So you see how intricate this, brother was. Big shout out to Detroit. You know what I mean? So now the homie, he telling me that he was supposed to go back for the joint. You know what I mean? I said, so what happened? He said, man, they picked me up, and the police picked him up. So the police picked him up, and they called to move. He couldn't finish telling me. So now I'm out there, I'm talking to Booby. Y'all know him, Kenneth Williams, that Rick Ross always talking about. Big shout out to the Booby boys. Oh, yeah, calm down. Look, I got a Booby Boy story coming up real soon, too. I got a Booby Boy story coming up real soon that y'all gonna like. You might not like. Like I said, we all take an L. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. They ain't take no L, in the physical matter, but, somebody went sour, on the team. And I'm gonna tell you about that later, but, I'm gonna reach out to some people in Florida, make sure that, they comfortable with it. So there's no misunderstanding. Just like anything else I do, I reach out to somebody and they let me know if it's cool to give the story before I give the story. I don't just give stories. Like I said, I'm not chasing views. I'm just trying to prevent the youth from going down the same path that we went down. So I let them know the things we went through. So could you imagine having to go get your fingerprints changed for 10 grand a finger? He got a deal like 30, 40 grand. They took off 10 grand or 30 grand or something like that to, knock him off. You know what I mean? They took off 20 grand. You know what I mean? So they gave it to him for 30, to get all 5 fingerprints changed. So now me and Booby in the joint, and Booby telling me about dude that, he official, da-da-da, because Booby's on his side, I'm on the other side, you know what I mean? So we sitting there chilling, and when Booby telling me this, you know what I mean? About 2 days later, I see dude again. I said, yo, you gonna tell me the story about your head? Because, you had me going with the joint about your fingerprints. That's some slick shit. Because no disrespect, my brother, rest in peace, Peter, he wanted to go get his fingerprints and all that, change while we was in the mix of what we was doing. But, we never got around to it because we was busy moving from state to state and changing IDs and things like that, so they couldn't catch up with us anyway. So it wasn't like a dire thing to do. But at this time, my man, was wanted. So now I said, yo, what happened to your head? So he said, man, they picked me up. And when they picked me up, they had me in a police car. And while they driving, you know what I mean? They going like 60 miles an hour. And I kept thinking, man, I'm not trying to go to jail. I'm not trying to go to jail because they take me there and my prints don't work. You understand what I'm saying? And, they gonna hold me. You know what I mean? And by the time they hold me, who knows what's gonna come up, So I said, so what happened? What you do? He said, man, we on the highway, they going like 60 miles an hour. So, I jumped out the police car. The man said he jumped out the police car 60 miles an hour. I said, huh? He said, yeah. He said, I told him I was hot back there. I couldn't breathe. So they put the window down. So he kept saying that he had asthma and he couldn't breathe and he needed air. So being that they going 60, the police put the window all the way down. So when they put the window all the way down, he reaches outside the car and picked the latch up, opened the door, and he jumps out the car at 60 miles an hour. So he jumps out 60 miles an hour, he rolling on the highway. He said he get up, he running, he got the handcuffs on him, he running. You know what I mean? If y'all from Detroit, y'all know who I'm talking about. I ain't got to say no names. If you don't know, you ain't supposed to know. You know what I mean? But anyway, so he said he jumped out the car. He said he messed his shoulder up from when he jumped out because he landed on it. He couldn't move his hand because they was handcuffed. So he messed his shoulder up. He got up. He said he ran across the highway. And wherever he got to, he got to his homies, and they wound up cutting the handcuffs off. And next thing you know, he on America's Most Wanted. You know what I mean? He on America's Most Wanted. I said, damn, so how did they wind up catching you? He said, nah, I was at the mall. And, if they had, the pandemic like they got now, he would have been able to walk around with a mask, But now they got his picture everywhere looking for him because it's a dude that jumped out of a police car 60 miles an hour. You understand? They don't know who he is. They didn't know who he was when he jumped out, but they know if he jumped out, something got to be wrong. And the crazy part is he got away because he on the highway. I said, dog, you wasn't worried about getting hit by a car? He said, man, I was just worried about getting away. I said, worried about getting away? He said, yeah. So he said he went to his peoples. They wound up taking off the handcuffs and all that. And then he went to the mall for something. While he at the mall, somebody recognized him from the picture on the news or something like that. Contact me, big homie, so I could do an interview with you and you could clarify whatever I'm saying wrong. Because, like I said, I'm on man time. Hold up. You know what I mean? Don't forget, cop my man, Al Raw Cap. He got the man time gear over at Al Raw at Instagram. Al-A-L-R-A-H. A-L and then a space and R-A-H to get your man time gear. You know what I mean? Good brother from out in Jersey. That's my man. You know what I mean? So he's telling me that they was looking for him, and when they caught up with him and they brought him in, that when they went to run the fingerprints, when they caught him at the mall, he's telling them that he's not dumb, and he's standing on the ID that he's using. He's standing that's him on the ID that he's using. And they like, nah, you look like the dude in the picture. You look like the dude in the picture. But mind you, they didn't even get to get a picture of him. The police described him and they drew a sketch of him, and he's saying that it wasn't him. But they spoke on the scar on the forehead, so that's what they was going off while they was bringing him down. So they winds up bringing him down when they found out who was a big old thing, and you know, he winds up getting locked up in the feds, man. But if you youngins want to go through all this, feel free to go through all this. Because my man even told me, he said, man, I wish I wouldn't even have got involved that deep into all this. I said, that deep? And he said, yeah. He said, because I didn't know they were going to give him no 30, 40 years. They might even give him 60. I don't remember exactly what it is. But like I said, you know, all my peoples, they be watching these and they know my stories is official, so he going to reach out. But, you know, if you youngins want to do something with yourself, man, I spent 26 years in prison. That 26 years that I spent in prison, I could have went and got my master's, my bachelor's, and got out of college, paid off whatever student loan or debt, you know, would have wound up saving some money and everything. But instead, I sat in the cage for 26 years, had to teach myself to read and write in order to write a Raw in Harlem. So cop the book of Raw in Harlem. You know what I mean? But, you know, you like the content, you know what I mean? Hit the like button. Put the emoji in the comment, you know what I mean? At the very least, you know what I mean? And if you like it, you throw a brother a cash app. It ain't that hard. You know what I mean? It ain't that hard. Like I said, PBS do their fundraiser, NBC, ABC, CBS, everybody do their fundraiser. You know what I mean? We ain't got to wait for super chats to show love. You like the content, send a brother $1, $5, $10, $20, whatever it is you want to send, show some love, man. You know what I mean? But, you know, it is what it is. I've been on here. This been a little 12 minutes, so that's where that's at. But, you know, let me give you all a little something else to go with that. But now, I was also in Allenwood. I'm going to give you another story with that, but I don't want to really talk on their story yet because they get ready to come home. But I'm just going to give them their props, you know. I was with, you know, Big Flex, G, and all them from Best Friends, you know, when we was in Allenwood, you know what I mean? And you know, another good brother from out in Detroit, Bam. Y'all know Bam, you know what I mean? If Bam home, y'all tell Bam to holler at me, you know, Flex and them getting ready to come home. But Detroit got gangsters. Detroit got straight gangsters. Y'all been asked for a Detroit story. You know what I mean? The Detroit official brothers that I know, they still on the inside fighting, so that's why I didn't really mention their case. But, you know, everything is looking good, you know, so I'm not going to get into what happened with them on the inside. But just know that my man Flex and G and, you know what I mean? They put their work in. Big shout out to Best Friends. Big shout out to Best Friends. Big shout out to Best Friends. You know what I mean? And big shout out to my man Bam. Bam was writing books, and he put me on a young lady that, I forgot the name of the book. If y'all know the book, y'all put in the comment. Man, what the heck was her name? Her name was Crystal Stales. You know what I mean? Bam was connected to her. You know what I mean? And he put me on her when I was writing my book, with him she could help me publish the book. But that book that she wrote, the first one, she wrote like a sequel, like 3 different, versions of it. But the first one was official. It's about a dude that went to prison. You know what I mean? I'm going to find the name of the book so I can plug y'all in and plug her joint. But the first one was a dude that went to prison when he was young and his girl held him down. Well, a girl that was like his girlfriend and his little buddy growing up, because he was about 16 when he went to jail, and he did maybe 10, 20 years. But she rode the whole bit out with him while his men was on the street doing their thing. You know, but she still, you know, had a boyfriend, but still went to visit him and still did what she had to do. Now, this one is for the ladies. Let's give the ladies some props here. I'm going to give the ladies some props here, you know. Now, when you got a lady that holds you down in prison because they got a lot of good, strong women. You go in the visiting hall, you see the visiting hall be packed with loyal females. Then I'm in touch with some females that's locked up in the women's federal prison, and they telling me when they go on a visit, it might be 2-3 visitors on the visit. You know what I mean? The brothers don't hold the females down like the women hold the females down, so I want to give a round of applause. I want to give a round of applause to the females, for the females being held us down. You know what I mean? The females held us down because that's how I got through my bid, from the females being there, so the females definitely need a big round of applause. Let's give them another one. Now, I'm going to start bringing some females up here and interview some females so you hear from a female's point of view of what, you know, went on with them on the inside. Because the females is neglected and, you know, they definitely deserve their props because they're the strongest, man. I appreciate them with all my heart. And I'm sure my brothers that did their bid and had females hold them down, they feel the same way I feel. So big shout out to the females, man. Big shout out to Detroit. Big shout out to Best Friends. Big shout out to G, Flex, my man Bam, you know what I mean? My man Turk. Let's not forget Lil Turk from out there. You know what I mean? I mean, these is men. You know what I mean? These are strong men that holds it down out there. And you know, it is what it is, man. So I'm getting ready to just tap out. Let me get this thing right because we're going to let y'all know. Hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget, cop the book of Raw in Harlem. And don't forget, if you got it, show a little love and a little etiquette for this YouTube. All right?
Hi guys, welcome to Platinum Cuisines. We're located in Freeport on the Nautical Mile. Just wanted to introduce my partner, Amy.
Hi guys, how are you? And this is my sister-in-law, Diana, another partner. I just ask that you come support our minority-owned business. We serve Asian fusion, Caribbean cuisine, and we have a beautiful restaurant located on the Nautical Mile in Freeport, New York. And we're asking that you come check us out and also make sure to tune in to Mecca Audio TV.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. Heat back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. Rush. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Real. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. Baby horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now you trying to stop the kids.